Second half of rotation number 4 as we come back to the SEC Championships in Duluth, Georgia. Alexis Brion on floor for the Crimson Tide.
Another one of Bama's great floor workers. Whip to a double back. What great height she gets in her tumbling. Half to a Popa. At Alabama's meet against Georgia, Alexis had a little problem with the timing on this pass. She changed it up and that lowered her start value. Whip half front, full front tuck. That's the way she wanted to do it. Always shows a lot of energy in her routines. Final pass. It's not an easy one. Double back. Boy, does she get some height.
Strong routine for Alexis Brion. She's happy, goes jumping off in her coach's arms, and she gets rewarded with a 9.95. Alabama putting up some big scores on floor in this rotation.
Clean landing, she hits all 3 of her tumbling passes, backs it up with some very entertaining dance. What a great routine.
Meanwhile, for the Florida Gators, Savannah Evans has been one of the outstanding freshmen this year.
A walk-on who scored a perfect 10 on this vault earlier this year, not able to put it on her feet tonight.
Yeah, disappointing there for Savannah. As you said, Lori, she did have a 10 earlier this year. She's capable of much bigger scores. You know what I like about it? She still has a big smile on her face.
What a tough position for a freshman to be in, going last up in a high-pressure meet like this. She's already scored a perfect 10, so that just increases the expectations. She came on a little flat and was unable to put this vault on her feet.
And we'll get a chance to take a look at Cory Fritzinger for the Georgia Gym Dogs. This is an event that she can be very powerful in.
And Georgia knows that Alabama is putting up big scores on floor. You can't help but notice the energy and intensity that's coming out of this crowd in this arena. Georgia staying very positive after the loss of Kinsey, staying focused on the task at hand, and Cory gets the job done.
As you said, Lori, they need to come up with some big scores, and Cory Fritzinger does it, a 9.95. You see now why the crowd at Georgia likes to chant Fritz hits, because she certainly does so here.
Georgia's hit with a little adversity, and they are not backing off whatsoever. Cory's one of the best bar workers in the country. She shows it off nicely here.
And from one of the best bar workers in the country to one of the best on floor, Ashley Miles for Alabama. There you see it. Never scored below a 9.9 in this event. She is fantastic to watch on floor.
Looking to build on Alexis Brion's 9.95, opening with a solid double layout.
Gotta love the power and explosiveness you see in Ashley's routine.
This is exactly how I like to see floor done. Big tumbling, great dance, entertaining. Front full, front layout. Some of these athletes and coaches have complained about this floor. It is on top of an ice rink, which makes it a little bit harder. Most of these girls compete with the floor on top of a basketball court, which gives it a little extra bounce. If we're gonna see a problem, we'll see it in athletes like Ashley, who are throwing the big tumbling, the double layouts, and the full ends. And there's not a problem so far. Last pass, double pike, and she nails it. What an amazing routine. A little reminiscent of last year's SEC Championships, where she won it for Alabama on this event. Her music has stopped. Very interesting, but she finishes up her routine. That will not be a deduction. A great routine for Ashley. I'm sure the coaches will go discuss this with the judges to make sure that there's no deduction there, to let them know that she didn't finish offbeat. There's the meet director, Marion Mahoney, discussing it with the judges. Sarah's concern is that they check the music to make sure that this doesn't happen to any of the other teams.
And just take another listen, you'll hear where it goes out.
Right there, you cannot break your concentration. She continues up, finishes it all the way to the end. Big applause by her teammates. They're supporting her all the way.
And the question now is, that was a fantastic routine. The crowd wants a 10. It looks pretty good to us. It might have seemed a little off with that music, but as we said, it was a technical error, not an error by Ashley Miles. There's 110. What will the other judges give? 4 judges at this meet.
So hard to get a 10, a perfect 10 at SECs, and she gets it, a perfect 10. That's at least 3 10s from the 4 judges. High and low are dropped, the other 2 are average. What a tough routine.
Wow, Ashley Miles coming through. Sarah Patterson says she's an exclamation point. Now you see why. A perfect 10 for the Crimson Tide. What a finish as they go off. We're coming back with rotation 5. Rotation 5 is getting set to start, and they are calling the hogs for those Arkansas gym bags. you just can't leave those Arkansas fans at home. You know, they got to come and make some noise for their team.
They have some great fans, and they've had incredible attendance at all their meets this year.
Certainly that program is headed in the right direction. Arkansas will be competing on vaults in this rotation. LSU on bars, Georgia on beam, and Kentucky on floor. And we will see Audra Loveless, the sophomore from Arkansas, on vault.
Soup layout full. That is one of the most difficult style of vaults to do. We see the Yurchenko layout full, but this one's even more difficult, doing the half on to the vaulting table.
Audra finishes with a 9.75 for her vaults. Meanwhile, on bars, April Burkholder in the all-around tonight has put up some big scores already.
A great floor routine and vault from her, and this is a nice event as well. So giant folded ginger, cast pack salto down to the low bar. Her skills are consistent. She's looking for that clean form, giving away no deductions. And of course, the stuck landing, there it is. Nails it.
And April Burkholder winds up with a 9.9, big score for the LSU Tigers, who, Lori, are in quite a race with the Florida Gators right now. Those two teams very close after their first 2 rotations.
They've both completed the same event, so we can do an event-by-event comparison, and right now LSU is ahead by 0.5.
Meanwhile, the Georgia Gym Dogs have 2 events completed. Next up, though, is beam, an event that is always key.
We need to be strong on the balance beam so that by the time we get to floor exercise, we don't need some ridiculous 49.8 to win, you know, that we know that we have a score that we can manage to get and can see ourselves, you know, in that winner's circle before we even get to the floor exercise. And so the event right before that balance beam, to me, will be very critical for us.
And once again, Georgia can thank the luck of the draw. They are competing on beam when Alabama is on a bye. That means the arena will be a little bit quieter, allows them to focus at the task at hand.
Alabama already has 3 events completed, so as you just heard Suzanne Yocklin say, Georgia does need a good score here to help set them up for their final rotation on floor.
Switch leap by Chelsa Byrd. This has been a real big focus for Chelsa this year, balance beam. She wants to become an All-American here. She's really worked on her consistency, and this routine is working well for her. This is Georgia's 3rd event. You mentioned that Allie competed 3 events, so after this rotation, we can exactly see where this competition stands, who's ahead, and what each team needs. Wolf jump to a tuck kick open. Chelsa is known for her powerful vaulting and tumbling. Really working hard to make this a great event for her. She's been smooth. Concentrating, big dismount, 2 back handsprings to a double tuck, only a tiny step on the landing. Very good, solid routine, no wobbles.
Chelsa Byrd gets a 9.9 on beam. These are the types of scores that Georgia needs. They want the big 9.9s.
She's a great teammate. As they look up to her on the balance beam, she's not wobbling. That really builds the confidence for the rest of the girls who need to compete.
Confidence so important on balance beam. But the Kentucky faithful looking over toward that floor where Michelle Gales is competing. Look at that, a career high of 9.95 in this event. She said she is a great all-arounder for the University of Kentucky.
One of the biggest and most difficult tumblers in the competition. She opened with a double layout. We saw a full front layout. See the knee strap on there. Again, another one of these athletes that are dealing with chronic injuries. The wear and tear really starts to set in at this time of year. Again, the music shuts off near the end of her routine. You saw her look to the side. If she stays focused, continues, she must finish this routine out.
Well, that is unfortunate, but again, we see the athletes doing what they need to do. The fans giving her a little love. She has a lot of family and friends here. Michelle Gales is from Atlanta, Georgia, and she gets a 9.9 on floor. We've got more in rotation 5 coming up.